Well, the light rail system is seeing some major problems once again, with OC Transpo saying that spalling or metal flaking was detected on several cartridge assemblies. Patrick Dumont is an engineering professor with the University of Ottawa. He joins us this morning. Good morning to you, my friend.
Good morning, Will.
When you take a look at spalling, we were talking about this last week. Is this something that we would commonly see with a situation like this?
It's highly unusual. It's something you might start seeing when you're reaching over the million kilometers traveled distance. But we're nowhere near that. We're at a tenth of that.
So it's something that you wouldn't typically see this time of year. I actually want to throw to a clip from Troy Charter talking about this and seeing if it's linked to something that happened a few years ago.
Too early to tell if they're linked, but we are definitely talking about the same component within the vehicles, that cartridge bearing assembly.
So that's about the comparison between that and the axle bearing issue. Do you agree with that, or do you have a second standpoint?
I don't blame them for not wanting to relate them at this point without extra information, but from my perspective, they're completely related. I mean, they're both due to overloading of the trains, essentially. In the first case, you had a loose wheel nut that was happening because there was impact in the corners and too heavy of a train that was getting loose. And I'm thinking what we're seeing now is that they've figured out how to maintain that situation, so the trains are running a little longer than usual. And now that extra weight is actually wearing down the wheel bearings that are causing the problem right now.
When you look at this situation, is this something when you look at it and you go, this could have been prevented, or we could have planned it better for this from the way that you see it from an engineering perspective?
I think if we would have designed the train properly from scratch, right from the get-go, or had used a train that had been running for years and years beforehand, this could have been prevented. But because we're essentially prototyping a brand new train that's never been used before, these are problems that can come up that can be unexpected.
Okay, so we look at the problems that we have right now. When you see spalling, the axle bearing a couple of years ago, what is your thought on the future of these trains? Can you foresee any other problems happening? I know you said, we're testing them out, and yeah, you smile because it's like, oh, there could be so many. But is there some concern from your standpoint moving forward?
When you're doing something new, there's always things that can happen that are unexpected. That's why we do prototyping when we're doing real design. This is what we're doing right now in some ways. Could there be other problems? Possibly. For me, from day one, the only true fix that wasn't a bandage fix was redesigning those cartridge bearings from scratch in order to handle the now expected loads that we know occur on these trains.
So we could look at like a full redesign, but from this point moving forward, what would you like to see to have the most amount of progress?
I would like them to continue to do what they're doing now from a maintenance perspective in order to keep people safe. And I would like the city to continue to put pressure on Alstom to make sure that redesign happens as quickly as possible.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see, but you know what? Like the shortage of buses, they're being pulled off. Line 1 starting to see 1 and 2 cars, so it's definitely a difficult time for many transit users, but appreciate you coming in and giving us a little bit of knowledge on the engineering side with some hopes to come. Thanks, Patrick, for your time.
You're welcome.